Yo, what's up, everybody? You know what time it is. Yeah, baby. March ain't over yet, but we gotta talk about some games. How's it going, everybody? So, March has been rather unique as far as video games go. Kind of everywhere across the board, but it's been a while since I've had a strong urge to play a certain game just that appeared out of nowhere, that transpired all of my previous sort of blocks, and really just came to the forefront of what I wanted to play this month. And again, when this video is coming out, we're almost, we still got about a week left in March, but I don't really think anything's going to be changing soon. So let's begin. March started with a pretty sweet purchase, and it kind of surprised me for a little bit, but I've been not following, but I've been starting to watch this show, that came out a long time ago, back in the 90s. It was called Real Monsters, the AAGH, Real Monsters. Came out on Nickelodeon. It was a Klasky Supo creation. The guys who made Rugrats. And of course, at the time, in the 90s, they made a game. And since I was watching it, I wanted to play it. So we're really playing it in the 90s back here. So there's the Bookmans right there. I picked it up from Bookmans, $10. I had the last little bit, I had some cash in my pocket, and the last little bit of a gift card redeem. So picked that one up, $10. It's a fun side scroller. I think it's you better beat this game in one go kind of game. I only got like 3 levels in, but there's no save spot. There's no there's not checkpoints. There's no codes. It doesn't give you any codes or anything like that. So it's a really, you're intended to beat it, I'm pretty sure. The gameplay is pretty simple, 2D side scroller, top down. You start in if you've ever seen the show, they live in the dump. So you start in the dump and then you work your way into the city. You go into a school, and then from the school you kind of go into, I think it's the town. So there's a few different settings. Like I said, I've only played the first couple levels. It's tough. You don't really get any new upgrades. You don't really get any new superpowers or anything like that. But you do get to cycle through all 3 of them. So there's Chrom, Oblina. So Chrom is the guy who holds his eyeballs. Oblina is the snake lady. And I think it's Gromit, Cricket, or something like that. I can't remember his name. But you cycle through the monsters, and each one has their own abilities and specialties about them. Certain ones jump higher, certain ones run faster, run harder, what have you. And then each has a special jump that they have. So let's say if you're Oblina, the snake lady, Ickis, there we go, Ickis, Grom, and Oblina. So you can have Ickis climb on top of Grom, and then Oblina climbs on top of Ickis, and now you're 3 stories high, and you can jump up, reach certain levels. Or if Grom, the bigger guy, is your lead character, and you hit that special jump, everybody will link arms, and he'll throw them, and then you kind of like hammer toss your way across certain long jumps. So it's fun. It's very creative in that aspect of it. But it's not like a Mario where you're going to get a mushroom or you're going to get a fire flower and you're going to go around wrecking places. You get to scare, and that runs out of power. So you have a little bit of those to use, and then you get I think it's like rotten apples or like rotten fruits to throw. So it's super fun. I really enjoyed this game. I got to play it again. I only played it a good portion of the month, and that's because this game absolutely consumed all of March for me. Ratchet & Clank Future Tools of Destruction. This was the first Ratchet & Clank game that came out on the PlayStation 3. If you're familiar with this channel, you know I'm a huge Ratchet & Clank fan. I got the series on the PlayStation 2. Ratchet & Clank Going Commando was one of my favorite games of all time. I've platinum trophied that game. All the skill points, all the armors, everything leveled up. One of my favorite games of all time. And this follows true to the formula like impeccably. This is a 9.7 out of 10. The only reason I say it's not a 10 out of 10 is because the camera gets weird sometimes and like it wants to fight you and it doesn't want to aim at who you're wanting to aim at. But that doesn't happen often enough for it to be a problem. Yeah, it's a continuation of the first 3 games. So if you haven't played any of the PlayStation 2 versions, I highly recommend playing that before you play this to add depth to the writing. But it can be seen as a standalone game, but it is certainly a continuation. You pick up in the city gets attacked, bing, bang, boom, you're caught in the middle of another adventure to save the universe, as well as, the solar system, as well as discover the truth of the last remaining Lombax in the Lombax history. Great game, absolute banger. Weapons are on point. If there was one thing about going commando and up your arsenal that I really didn't like was that there was a sniper rifle weapon. It didn't make sense. You're never in a position where that's not true. You're rarely in a position that the sniper rifle is going to be effectively useful. Because if they're that far away, it's probably just going to be a couple small ads versus you're going to be able to get a good hit on the big main boss or a mid boss. So it's better to just have bigger weapons or something that shoots faster. So this game is great. Weapons are fantastic. You got Mr. Zircon in this game. Absolute banger, Mr. Zircon. Good times. Highly recommend it, picking it up, playing it, going through the Ratchet & Clank series as a whole, because, like I said, the urge to play the Ratchet & Clank series really took over me. So, played this one, beat it. I beat it like in a week. I played nonstop every hour on the hour when I could. And I'm new game plusing it because, when you beat it, the final armor isn't even available, and there's no way you're going to make that much money in the first place. B, so I want to get the full armor, and then they offer Omega weapons. So I was like, more upgrades, of course. So you go from level 1 through level 5 through the main game. New game plus, you go into the Omega weapons, just like in Going Commando. So they got me on that new game level. And then the third game, I just, like I said, there's not really a third game. It's kind of a mix. I just played some God Hand. And picked it up for a little bit just to mess around. Got to the next save spot, but it wasn't really vibing as much as I thought it was going to vibe. So, you can mix in Rogue Trification, you can mix in Champions of Norath, you can mix in Godfist, you can mix in Marvel vs. Capcom 2. So, in March, that third game is kind of 12 games. But for the most part, boom. Ratchet & Clank Going Commando, boom. Real monsters. Definitely recommend adding them to your library if you got the systems. But until next time, like, comment, subscribe, do the bell icon, do all the things. Hit me up. I do reply in the comments if you want to chit chat about some video games. With that being said, until next time, buenas noches.